Your view of the road ahead plays a vital role in your F1 2021 performance. Having your camera set up properly will be important, so let's get started. F1 2021 features multiple camera angles, each giving you a different view of the track and your rivals. A new addition this year is the alternate nose camera. This is positioned just in front of the halo and looks far ahead to let you plan your next move well in advance. This view is fairly similar to what real F1 teams use in their simulators and provides a great alternative to the cockpit view. I'd recommend giving it a go, especially if you play on a wheel. Speaking of the cockpit camera though, here are my current settings. I don't drive in this view often, but when I do, my main goal is to capture footage that looks good on YouTube, and these settings are great for that. The majority of players will be using the TV pod cameras though. Let's explore two different styles and set them up. In my many years of playing F1 games, I've always been fond of the camera angle used in F1 2010, and I usually replicate that in every new release. I like this camera because of its high position and sharp angle, looking down on the front of the car. You can see exactly where your front wheels lie in relation to the curbs and the edge of the road, letting you position your car more accurately. You also get a decent peripheral vision, important for when you're battling other cars. To set this up, pause the game and head into camera settings, then scroll over to the TV pod offset view. First, you need to get the camera centered on the car, and a lateral offset of -12 does this perfectly. Next, pull the camera all the way back with the horizontal offset, -18. You may notice that the airbox of the car clips through the front of the screen. To fix this, set the near clip plane to maximum. If it's still clipping, you'll need to move the horizontal offset forwards a little. It's a little different for every car, though you can set custom angles for each car on the grid, so not a big issue. Speaking of angles, let's get the car pointing down. Max out the vertical offset and then drop the angle to -20. If you feel the car is too far away from you now, tweak the field of view slightly. Try not to stray too far away from 0, as it can distort the way you view the road. I found -2 to be a good balance. One more setting you should definitely change though is the camera shake. If you set this to 0, you get a smoother view, letting you focus on the road ahead. When it comes to looking ahead, there's a setting popular amongst F1 Esports players that gives them a great view of the corners and looks far enough down the road to let them travel at high speeds. Before that though, hit the like button if you learned something and let me know what settings you use. The second style of view I would recommend is what I like to call the Esports view. It's a little lower down with a tighter field of view and looks far ahead, letting you plan your moves early. While many of the F1 Esports pros set this up using the TV pod offset view, I've been able to replicate it using the normal TV pod view. There's a very minor difference to depth perception, but having it on the TV pod view lets you switch between this and the high angle view without adjusting settings every time. Setting it up is fairly simple. I won't go over what each setting does, as we already covered that in the high angle view, but here's what I've been able to come up with. Regardless of which style you like, there's one more thing we need to do, and it's not in the camera menu at all. Let's get to it. F1 2021 features an updated on-screen display, with the most obvious change being the dashboard, which is in the middle of the screen. The standard position is good, however I would recommend raising it a little. This lets you check it without taking your eyes off the road. In the on-screen display menu, head to customization and move the dial up a bit. Placing it near the halo is a good spot, letting you glance at it while keeping your eye on track. When it comes to racetracks, it's important to know your way around them. Check out the guides on screen now to master every circuit and drive without the racing line. In the meantime, thanks for watching and I wish you the best of luck in your next race.